Hi, everyone. This is the recording for your reference to review what we worked on in class on Tuesday, April 7th for El Sistema. So we, first of all, talked about what you need for class. So just remember on Thursday, you need your music book, your music stand, any handouts that I send through email, a pencil and notebook, and of course your violin. Okay, so to start, let's just review the types of notes that we talked about. So I'll show you the note, and then I would like you to tell me, or to review first, say it out loud to yourself before I do, the type of note that this is. So you'll say either quarter note, eighth notes, half note, or a quarter rest, okay? So let's start with this note. What type of note is this? It is a quarter note, and that gets one beat. It is a ta. What are these notes? They are, you should have said eighth notes, and the eighth notes both together equal one beat. So when we count this, we say T, T. Good. What type of rest is this? It is a, and you should have said a quarter rest, which gets one beat of silence. So we say rest. And what type of note is this? It is a, and you said a half note, and a half note gets two beats, and we say ta, ah. So when we're counting the rhythms, we use, they're called the Kodai rhythms, and this would be ta, ah. Very good. Okay, so we then looked at a bunch of different rhythms. Oops. So remember that the beat is the steady pulse, and the rhythm is the varying lengths of notes that we have on top of the pulse. So here we have 4 even tas. So if we have our steady beat, so 1, 2, that's our beat, 3, 4, we have ta, 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 ta. Good. So what I would like you to do is to get your violin, and while I say and point to the notes, I'll say the rhythm and then point to the notes. I would like you to play the rhythm on an open string. So you could do open A. So that first one would be ta, 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 ta. The next one would be ta, rest, ta, rest, and so on. Okay, so let me put up the board so you can see, and then I would like you to get your violin and play along. And we'll go right from the end of one to the next one. Okay, so here's our beat. 1, 2, ready, go. Ta, 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 ta. Ta, rest, ta, rest. T, 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 T. Ta, 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 T, T, ta, T, T, ta, ta. And then number 6, ta, ah, ta, ah. So we're going to try 6 again. Make sure you use a slow bow. So this would be 1 slow bow, and then this would be 1 slow bow. So it's 1 long note and then another long note. Slow bow, and then change the bow, slow bow. Good. Ta, ah, ta, ta. Ta, 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 rest, ta, ta, rest, T, T. Very good. So these are the rhythms that we are using in your new piece, Spring. So go ahead and get Spring out. I will play it for you so you can listen first. And then I'm just going to take some measures, play it for you, just remind you of the things that we talked about. And then you can stop the recording and play, drill that measure, and then you can start the recording up again. Okay. So here's the first, actually I'll play the whole song so you can hear it first, and then we'll do some breaking up. Good. So let me also really quickly just review the first and the second endings. So we talked about this in class, so just make sure you remembered. So you play the beginning. So you have this first repeat sign, and then you're going to play all the way through. If you look really closely, see that first, that number 1 right here over the first ending. So that means, oh, am I pointing the right spot? Right here. So that means you're going to play that the first time, and then you take this repeat. So you're going to go back to the repeat, play it through, skip the first ending. So don't play this measure. Instead of this measure, you play the second ending. Okay. From the second ending, you go down to the next line, and you're going to do the same thing on this side. So play through. You play the first ending, and then you see this repeat sign, so you have to repeat back to the nearest repeat sign. Play through it. Oh, skip the first ending. Remember, don't play that second time, and play the second ending. And this dotted half note will get 3 beats. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then rest on beat 4. Okay, so that's spring. So let's just do a little work on some of the measures, and then we're going to listen to it. So I think both of you understood the tas and the TTs really well. So just remember, I know with Tobias, we talked about the long tas. So remember, keep those ta, ta. So keep that note for the full beat, and then your TTs are excellent. Leo, you understand that. So the next spot to watch in your music where you have the second finger with an arrow pointing down. Now remember, this is low 2 on the E string. So your 2 has to touch your first finger, okay? And I just finished the lesson with Leo today, and we talked about keeping 1 down, 1, 3, 3, and then you can drop your 2 next to 1. 1, 2, or 2, 1. So when you put down 3, just make sure 1, just keep 1 down, and then drop 2 touching 1. Okay, so what I'm going to do is play, let's start with the 8th notes that have the low 2 in it. So this is the second measure. I'm starting on the 8th notes. So you can look at that in your part. And I have my 1 down. So I keep it down, I add my 3, and I'm going to go T, T, ta, ta, ta. Good. Okay, So I'm going to play that again. Put 1 down, add 3. Okay. I'm on measure 2. 3, 2, 1. Okay, ready, go. 3, 2, 1, 1, 1. Open 1, 3. Rest. Okay, let's try that again. So put 1 down, add 3. Ready, go. Good. Okay. Another thing also to remember, make sure the half notes get 2 full beats. So that's slow bow. Okay, so they're not cut short. Good. And then you see on measure 5, at the end of the measure, we have up, up written. So it's ta, ti, ti, up, up. Okay, watch my bow. So this is measure 5. First finger, ta, ti, ti, up, up. We'll try that again. Ready, go. Ta, ti, ti, up, up. Good. Again, measure 5. We start with first finger, ta, and then low 2, 3, low 2, 1. So again, it's low 2. Make sure 2 touches 1. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, open. Good. Okay, before we listen to the piece on YouTube, let me just talk to you quick about the key signature. So if you look at this, you're probably wondering, well, how do I know that it's a low 2 on the E string? So between the treble clef and your time signature is this right here. And this is called the key signature. So the F sharp, so if you had a note on this top line, you know that's F sharp. So that means all of your Fs will be F sharp in this song. And then the second sharp is C sharp. So that means all of your Cs will be C sharp in this song. Okay, and you know, if you're not quite sure how to read notes or you're still picking up on that, we're going to work a little bit more on that on Thursday. But if we had a third sharp here, that would be G sharp. And so it'd be right up here where G sharp would be. We don't have G sharp. So that means we have to play just G, or it's called G natural. So see the 2 with the arrow right here? I can move it really close. So we don't have G sharp. That means you have to play G in the whole song. So 2 on E is going to be touching 1. That's G. G sharp is on the tape, so we don't have G sharp. We have G. We do have C sharp, remember? So when you get to this first ending, when you see that second finger on A, I didn't put an arrow. That is 2 on the tape. So just remember that. That's 2 on the tape. Okay. So in class today, we talked about Vivaldi and his background. What I'm going to do is, just because of the time, I'm going to go ahead and play the recording for you. Just remember, Vivaldi was a violinist, actually, and he taught at an orphanage, and he wrote a ton of pieces, and he wrote pieces for the girls that he taught at the girl orphanage, or orphanage for girls. He wrote a lot of pieces for them to perform and to learn from. And he wrote, I think it was about 500 concertos. So a concerto is a solo work or it's a work for orchestra, but it features a soloist. And so Spring, which is one of his concertos, features a violinist. And Spring is actually from a collection of 4 concertos called the Four Seasons. So let's, what did I do with my background? Here it is. Vivaldi based each of his 4-season concertos on a set of sonnets. Now, a sonnet is a type of poem. So the music in each of the 4 seasons describes exactly what's going on in the poems. Spring includes birds, brooks, breezes, and thunderstorms. And then see how many of those you can hear in Vivaldi's music. So we're going to end today with the song, or the piece, and this is the first movement from Vivaldi's concerto titled Spring. So I hope you enjoy. And let me go to share screen. Okay, let's. Great. So that was really neat. You could see the words on the bottom of the screen. That was the poem that Vivaldi used to compose the music. So it's an example of program music, where the music represents a story, or can represent nature, or it's representing the birds singing in a part, or the thunderstorm. So kind of neat. Great. So I hope you use or enjoy the review, and I will see you on Thursday. Bye.